You are listening to Tech Gumbo on Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, brought to you by Gulf South Technology Solutions. 225-216-2169, or James
at gulfsouthtech.com.
That's right. And I'm Haggai Davis with James Moak, as always. This is our interview segment.
Yeah, it's one of the ones we really enjoy every week because we have someone from the technology community, if you will, and this happens to be one of our vendor partners from Fortinet. Today is Ira Soderberg, who is the regional account manager for Southeast Texas and Louisiana. Welcome to the show, Ira.
Great, thanks for having me on.
Good deal. Well, Ira, tell us, who is Fortinet? Tell us what you do. Give us a little background for the listeners.
Sure. So Fortinet is, we kind of joke we're the best kept secret in security, right? So we don't do a whole lot of marketing, but we've been around quite a while. So we started back in 2000, been publicly traded since 2009, and we just went past the 2 million mark as far as number of firewalls actually shipped and in production. So been out there doing it a while.
So what makes Fortinet a little different from the competition out there?
Sure. So Fortinet, basically, we build all of our own stuff. So we don't buy signatures from other competitors. We don't buy technology and put our name on it, right? So we actually build our own ASIC, which for the people who may be not familiar with an ASIC is a purpose-built chip, right? So it's going to do a specific function. So what that allows us to do is essentially keep the price of the box lower and maintain a much higher throughput level than using general purpose CPUs.
And so that ASIC is basically the fast processor, if you will, that handles all that stuff.
That's correct. So what it allows us to do is put multiple ASICs in a box and allow them to each do certain tasks while we continue to increase the throughput that can go through a given device.
So what's the Fortinet philosophy on security?
Yeah, for us, it really comes down to, we build purpose-based products. So for different things like, protecting email or web filters or that type of thing. But we need our products to work together, right? So Fortinet works together to engineer that all of our products that could be in a customer's network are talking to each other and proactively trying to stop malicious behavior.
That's cool. So what do you see as the biggest security problem facing the small and medium businesses that are out there?
Daily when we run into these customer environments, what we're seeing is that SSL is not being inspected or looked at.
So, no, we try not to use acronyms too very much on the show, so let everybody know what SSL is.
Sure. So SSL is simply encrypted traffic. So everyone's familiar with their browser. Normally it's, HTTP and then whatever the website might be. HTTPS would be the encrypted version or the SSL. And essentially what happens there is when traffic is allowed out from a customer's network to the internet and it's encrypted, any of your security products lose visibility into that. The problem with that right now is over 60% of the malicious, spyware, malware, antivirus type things that are out there are running over that. And with that being said, that's a gaping hole in the security landscape right now.
Because I guess more and more people are, doing more of their personal and business-related, activities online, whether it's banking or, paying bills or what have you, and that's where most of the time you see the HTTPS, websites and e-commerce, people ordering stuff from, Amazon and different places, and so I think what you're saying is, not necessarily all of that HTTPS traffic is being checked and may not be necessarily legitimate.
That's 100% right. So the problem today is if someone blocks a potentially bad website from their users, right, what happens is that application or that malware will immediately switch to a secure or encrypted connection to try to get back to call home, if you will, right? And, if you're not inspecting that traffic, it goes right back out. So it's just an ongoing battle. And unfortunately, I think a lot of it really comes down to educating the consumers and the end users in some of these networks that, you can't avoid it, right? You have to do something about it. Actually, in the next few years, a lot of the browsers are not going to support anything but HTTPS.
So, if for a small business that's out there, what's the one change in their setup that they really need to be most concerned about?
Sure. So it's definitely filter the outbound traffic and gain some visibility into the applications that are going through your network, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Facebooks, all the social media, all of those things, right? We've got to get some visibility into that because it just opens a whole nother door to getting, malicious traffic that you really don't want.
And I know, with us dealing with businesses and having the Fortinet appliances and, all of our clients, we don't actually have to, lock the networks down and keep people from, going to the, productivity sites and things like that. And, we do actually have some clients that they allow some of their people to go to Facebook, but we can actually limit where they can go within Facebook, within the firewalls. The granularity is there, and I think there may be a misconception out there that when you put a firewall in place, it basically blocks everybody from getting to everything. And we're here to tell you it can be done a little differently.
100%, yeah. For us, the goal is to control and create a policy that is acceptable for the customer, right? We've got to maintain that kind of work-life balance. The good news is it gives you that granularity to do what you need to do.
So going forward, what does Fortinet see as the long-term future of security?
So for us, it's continued integration of our products so that, people can do more things, with less staff, because obviously that's the direction that most of our customers are under, right? They don't have additional headcount to go get some of these things done. So we need things to be able to automate and sync together, right? With that being said, the segmentation of the internal network is becoming more and more crucial. What that translates to is being able maybe to isolate information, whether it's intellectual property or HR information or, credit card transactions for somebody who maybe is doing retail. But be able to isolate that and know what is good and bad traffic as opposed to just letting everything kind of reside on one common network.
So tell us a little bit about what CTAP is.
Sure. So CTAP for us right now is us running a threat assessment. So we essentially come in to a customer, put an appliance on their network. It's in transparent mode, or it could be off of a span port, which essentially means to the customer, you don't have to go reconfigure your network to run this box. Plug it in, let it see the traffic that's going through your existing firewall today, and we will turn around and give you a report that shows you the things that we've talked about today, these applications, these different types of malware, whatever that may exist in your network. And then obviously, we can come up with a plan of action to help you get it mitigated or remediated, whatever you need.
Yep, and if I understand, those are absolutely free.
That's correct.
Can't beat the price.
That's right. Nobody argues about that price.
Well, that's great. So, Ira, I want to thank you very much for coming on with us today. Any last closing comments you want the listeners to know about Fortinet?
No, I think for us, we're glad to be here. Glad to hopefully you maybe clear up some of the fog around the acronym soup that exists in security. If anything we can do to help, I would tell you just go to our site, Fortinet.com. There's a lot of information out there that can be used just to try to figure out maybe next steps. And there's a lot of partners out there like you guys at Gulf South that can really help the customer in finding that direction. So appreciate the time.
You bet. And we are a big believer in the Fortinet product line for firewalls. I mean, it's just the best stuff out there. So, Ira, thanks again. We're going to remind everybody we've got a free 1-year subscription to Microsoft Office 365. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page. James, what's the keyword this week?
The keyword this week is firewall.
There you go. So we have one segment left here on Tech Gumbo here on Talk 107.3 FM WBRP.